Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when...
Well, I'll give this little cookie an hour before we're doing the no pants dance. Time to musk up.
Wow. Never ceases to amaze me. What cologne you gonna go with? London Gentleman or... Wait. No. Hold on. Blackbeard's Delight.
No. She gets a special cologne. It's called Sex Panther by Odeon. It's illegal in 9 countries. Yep. It's made with bits of real panther. So you know it's good.
It's quite pungent.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it's a formidable scent. It stings the nostrils. In a good way.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, you know. 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well...
No, it doesn't make sense, folks. Just like many things that this guy TrueKnowledge apparently says throughout the course of these live stream shows here, these especially themed shows we like to call them on the MCU'S YouTube channel podcast. What's up, Jocelyn in the house? I see Jocelyn has decided that she's going to be one of those like people that thinks they live in a 50 Cent movie or whatever, like every day or whatever. What's up, Joss? I didn't know you were a gangster these days. How you doing, hon? Anyways, Joss is the biggest MCU's Bleeding Edge supporter in the history of the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So there you go. That's why you will get a free membership subscription, Joss, to our OnlyFans. As soon as I get it up, you'll get a free subscription, I promise. To our X-rated, adult-rated Marvel MCU cosplay DCU content. Anyways, folks, we have some stragglers here, which is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned, to add some new people to the show. But we've got a big panel eventually going to come down on here. And basically, we're here to do a part 3 of The Mandalorian Season 3, which, as Jason and I talked about earlier, was sort of, I guess you could say, split in terms of its acceptance or, what the expectations were possibly for the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, as it was sort of, I guess, if you want to say there, Din Leach, it was the first Disney Plus Star Wars series that kind of broke out. It did, right? It really caught people's attention, and it wasn't because of Baby Grogu or Baby Yoda. Even as much as Disney does not believe it, it's the truth.
Right.
But they make money off the toys, baby.
Yeah.
Real Wrath of Khan is up in this house. What up, bitch? Fucking the more like honestly, Jassem, I like now that you're the Real Wrath of Khan, your name is really fucking long, bro. Like it takes a lot of energy and effort to drop your title.
I'm gonna just say Khan. That's
okay.
It.
I'm gonna just call you Khan. I like that. All right.
Yeah.
You know what? I love the Star Trek vibe to it too, right? It really is.
Even if
dope.
I'm not a Star Trek fan.
No, that's you know what though? Isn't that cool, Leach? That's like an old fashioned like connection, right? That is really cool. It is to have that going and whatnot and everything. Like definitely, Khan was a fucking sick. He was probably one of the best villains in Star Trek.
Yeah, no doubt.
By far, like he was literally probably the best. And I'm not even a Trekkie, believe me. I've told you before, Jess. I've been on Trekkie pods before, and whatnot, and everything. And let's just say that I'm not there for my lore knowledge. I'm there for the humor, baby. But no, folks, MCU's Bleeding Edge in the house, just like Joss is in the house. And part 3, Mandalorian season 3 breakdown and recap. Last Sunday, things didn't come together, didn't come to fruition quite as overall multi-layered as I'd like them to be, but that's fine. We're going to bust off, basically, I guess you could say, a sort of subcategorize our show into like kind of just jumping into episodes 6 through 8, with our emphasis being more towards 7 and 8, right? And then try to do some contrast comparison between those last 2 episodes. Kind of just bust off at the end, just sort of a overall feeling from the panel, running the panel, whoever ends up being on here, for the whole season, right? And then just some basic predictions for season 4. We're not going to go too heavily into Ahsoka or the Skeleton Crew, although I will expect and anticipate that I, myself, Jason, and of course, Jassem, when Nate comes on, Ben will probably all end up dropping lore words and themes and whatnot throughout our contributions, right? I'm sure you gentlemen would agree. There's no way around it. So at the end of the day, please support and subscribe to the MCU'S YouTube channel and podcast. I'd really like to get to 25,000K real soon because that means we'll be close to 50,000K. And by then, I expect to actually make tangible part-time income off this bitch. Right? So, right? And I still am not on Patreon, folks. There you go. All right? I'm fighting the good fight up in this house on YouTube, playing by the rules. No Patreon shield, baby. Let loose. Like, what's up? Just having at it. You know what I'm saying? But we'll get there eventually. I luckily am very blessed on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Oh, and also do me a favor, ring that bell so you're notified when we're live. Come check us out. But support Jassem, support Jay over at DJB Productions, okay, over on YouTube, over DJB Productions Network, and my boy Danny.
Shout out.
Yep, that's right. I've had 5 of Danny's team. I think 4 of his team on the Bleeding Edge before. Jay's been the most on. He's been very helpful with us on several things, mostly Star Wars.
Yeah.
Jay, it's been really great having you on.
Thanks, man. It's fun to be here.
I enjoy having you on. You're great to record with. And Jassem is a good friend of mine. As I put in the description, it literally says in the description, good friend to the Bleeding Edge and a really true friend of Jeff's. Right. So there you go, brother. I cried inside when I put that in for you.
Thank you, Jeff.
You'll cry inside too when you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what do we got going on here? Will Jeff partner with Lutheran to create a sex shop on Coruscant? Oh, you mean Luthen? Yeah, Lutheran is he's over on Coruscant, bro. Or you know what I'm saying, or on Tatooine or whatever, whatnot. Like he's on, you know, you're getting them mixed up. That's Luthen's twin. But no, you've already Mac PM. I'm not sure who you are, and it's nice to see you. But we've already covered the whole. Like I already talked about starting my own sex shop during Andor. I would have already done that, so that's already been covered, bro. Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Miss or bro, whatever. I've already covered all that. By the way, folks, I want to just you guys got a compliment here for my style here. Look, I got the all purple shorts. You can't see them. I got the purple Tatooine shirt, right? Because you know I'm a Tuscan translator, baby. In training,
because you're a Lakers fan,
right? I'm working on my Tuscan translator merch T-shirt. It's coming out soon, right? That's right, baby. And I will be moderating again in my full Tuscan Sam person outfit again here soon.
bro.
I will.
Oh, you have a Tuscan outfit?
Yeah, I wore it. Jay, you were on that. No, you weren't on that show. Were you on that?
Yeah.
You were on that episode. I was drunk as shit, and I was dressed as a Tuscan Raider.
What do you mean Tuscan sounds?
And I was moderating and shit. No, I can't do it. Who the hell can actually? I don't do impressions. I'm certainly not going to start with with Tuscans. I'm not really a translator, bro. It's all made up. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the hell can translate for the Tuscans? You know what I'm saying? Seriously, bro. I mean, Tyrone Biggins. I mean, that's a tough job, man. You get me your impression of the sad person barking or whatever.
Oh
yeah, see, yeah, see, yeah, see.
Man.
How about
Hey, just close enough, man.
That sounded more Wookiee to me, man.
Wookiee's like, oh, like as if you're yawning.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna miss about Jasmine's ass. Jasmine could do some Wookiee that would like fuck me up. It was scary and shit. I was like, wait, I'd be like, Jazz, hold on, you gotta stop with that shit. Like you're starting to scare me a little bit with the Wookiee shit.
I want to see it now.
It's crazy. Yeah. She could do really good Wookiee. But either way, folks, no. So we do hopefully have Gunnar, an old friend of the program, coming on at some point here. He said he was going to try to make it. We've got Ben that's been on here before and whatnot and everything. We've got Kyle from True Believers Podcast, True Believers Marvel Cinematic Universe Podcast, over with Kevin. At some point coming on here. They're all busy. It is Sunday. But I guess to start off, I want to just go ahead and go around to you two and whatnot and everything. And Jassem, start with you. I don't want to talk about episode 6 very much just because all I really want to say about it is Guns for Hire is the title. It's really kind of a quirky episode. I wouldn't say it's a filler episode, although Jay, you can debate that if you want, or Jassem, you can debate that.
Right.
But I felt like it was sort of like very discombobulated, right? You know what I'm saying? And like it really didn't, the storyline wasn't that good for it or whatever, right? Like the premise of it was not, it didn't really impress me, I guess. It was not a highlight or a beacon of the episodes that came out. For me, it was probably the second. It was probably the worst one, but it has good moments, right? It was a great, as Jay and I talked about earlier. It was great seeing Bo and Mando working together with Grogu, like that and whatnot. I love them together. Yeah. So what did you think? I mean, episode 6, again, there's some good stuff in there. There's a lot of lore, right? But I mean, besides that, and Jack Black and what's her name? Lizzo. Whoever the fuck she is. What was your take on it? Was it, did you think it was shit? Like,
I mean, I guess we now know how like Bo-Katan truly united the two clans. I mean, that's the only main thing. Other than that, it's just mostly a filler episode with like, you'll learn some new fun facts, like how you have Mancala and Quarren people. They actually like, you have like that mini Romeo Juliet moment.
Yes. In the intro.
Yeah.
100%.
No, if you want to launch into that and break that down, go ahead, because that is actually one of the highlights of the. I love it when Axe comes in and they think that's the Empire, like that's the Imperial forces, but it's actually the Mandalorians just bounty hunting.
Yeah. So that Star Destroyer, let's just start off from there.
Yeah,
I believe that's actually from season 2. Remember that episode where like Mando meets Bo-Katan for the very first time, and they steal like the Star Destroyer.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, did they actually steal that light cruiser?
How'd they ended up they flew up to it, right?
Yeah.
And they pretty much commandeered it because they got rid of a lot of people on there, and the one guy didn't he commit suicide? He like bit down.
He just bit, yeah.
Yeah, so they kind of did steal it. Yeah.
Is that the same ship, or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know. I didn't put 2 and 2 together like that, but it could be.
Yeah, I mean, if the one they stole was a smaller one, then I guess scratch that. But what's interesting is that, well, throughout Star Wars history, so the Quarren, the Mancala, Mancala is like Admiral Akbar's species.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they lived in this planet called Mancala, and then basically these two races or species, they actually like hate each other. Like they normally go into like civil wars and stuff.
Yeah, very similar to the Mandalorians.
Mandalorians are usually one species.
That's right. You're right. I'm sorry about that. You're right.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just interesting to see that like you actually had like two people of different species actually like liking each other. So just understanding that helps you understand how it's like a Romeo Juliet situation, especially since like everyone involved is like royalty from like one species or another.
Yeah.
Leech, you have something yet?
Yeah. Well, I just the episode in a whole, I was very disappointed with it, and I mean mainly because there was definitely an overflow of cameos, because not only did you have Jack Black and Lizzo, but you had Christopher Lloyd and Sasha Banks all appearing in the same episode. My biggest gripe with the episode is that one of the things I really liked about Mandalorian, especially the first 2 seasons, they didn't rely on CGI. It was a lot of practical effects. And then this episode just seemed like they were in a green room the whole time, and it was like just way over the top CGI, and it just it didn't have that vibe. Like it fit in with the rest of the series, not just this season, but the entire series. It was kind of like a weird step away. I did like the Bo-Katan trying to get her people back, and I think that's the point where Din Djarin said, she's the rightful owner of the dark saber now. And
I mean, she didn't really say that explicitly. I think it's more like Mando's one who kind of pushed the idea.
That's what I mean. Yeah. I said Din Djarin said that. So, and that kind of sealed up one of the cliffhangers that was left from season 2. it was like, oh shit, they're gonna have to like fight this out, and one of them's gonna have to die in order to, you know, have a owner of the Darksaber, a true owner of the Darksaber, and it worked out so they don't have to, you know. So it was stolen from the Mandalorian through that spider monster on Mandalore, and then,
episode 2, Minds of Mandalore, great episode.
Yeah, great episode. That's probably my favorite of the season, and and that she then retrieved it from the you know, where the spider guy left it. So she is, you know, through a loophole, the rightful owner.
No, and that fucking spider monster creature was fucking awesome looking too.
Yeah, yeah.
With the bionic deal, whatever, with that bionic organism that was operating it, whatnot, that was living off of the blood of like the Mandalorians or whatever, whatnot, that were still on the surface.
Yeah.
Right. Now, Moff Gideon had at this point, Moff Gideon had already possessed the Darksaber too, hadn't he? Had it one time.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and since the Mandalorian won it in battle from him, it was in I think the final episode or second to final episode of season 2.
No, it's the final episode.
And is it in the past? It's in the past too that Dark Maul actually had it, right?
Yeah, yeah, and did Ahsoka win that back? I forget.
No, she didn't. She never held the Darksaber.
Didn't Dark Maul kill the Duchess Satine?
Yeah, in front of Kenobi.
Yeah, that's right. And Kenobi and her were in love. Yeah, he would have given up the Jedi for her.
Yeah,
right. Old Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Now, if I was on Clone Wars, I would have poked Ahsoka.
Oh,
Quick,
hell yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, at some point, if I was training her, if she was my Padawan, if I was Anakin, I would assume like that one of my privileges as like being a master would be a little something, right, Jay?
Yeah.
Sorry, Jassem. I'm not going to involve you in this.
Hit it from the back. And
I can read through the tea leaves.
Yeah, as a part of like her body stretching, whatever, whatnot, right? She can bend over. You know what I'm saying? Get a doggy style, right? And I can pull out that fucking weird hair she has, whatever, whatnot, all that shit. Yeah. Whatever that alien shit is. It'd be good. So she seems pretty fine. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Rosario Dawson, I'm sure as hell, she was dope as fucking as Ahsoka.
Yeah. I thought she was a perfect casting for that.
Oh, I love it. Who needs C-3PO when you have Google Translate? Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
I didn't see Solo.
You didn't see Solo? Oh, you should see it.
No.
It got a bad rap, but it's a decent movie. It just got a lot of hate because it came out right after The Last Jedi, which everybody just.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I can see how the backlash, right? I've seen it's just like in the MCU or any kind of like the way this all stuff is. When you get to a point where you're coming off of like that last trilogy, and you've got like people like me that are loose fans, right? That saw the first film and then just didn't even watch 2 and 3,
right? Because
of how bad the backlash was from the fandom on like YouTube and shit, whatnot, and online. I was like, fuck that, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and shit. I mean, and I knew Jassem back then. Me and Jassem were buddies back then. This is back when that's how long I've known his ass. And you know what, folks? Again, another crying inside, very personal, uplifting moment on the leading edge over here. Jassem and Jay are fast friends now, right? And they love Nate the Great too. Hopefully, we get to see you, Nate. We love you, brother. Hopefully, you get off work in time to come on, but you're a busy man.
Hope he has his internet situation solved.
Well, he's a busy man. He goes to college. He has a job. You know what I'm saying? Whatnot. Hey, he tries. Right?
We need to gift him fiber internet one day.
Hey, you know what? Look, listen, you already know I got to be careful with if anybody needs somebody that I would buy some gear for or whatever, whatnot, and I know that he would appreciate it, whatnot, and he would never, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's a genuine dude. Nate's a genuine person. He's good people. He actually knows how to be grateful.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm being a little bit more selective about who I give toys to. But no, honestly,
Internet's not a toy, dude. It's a service.
You're right. Hey, listen, I can't. It's not my fault. He decided to move to Washington State or whatever, whatnot, or whatever that shithole. You know what I'm saying? I told him not to move there. I'm like, dude, tell your mom and dad not to move there. They're gonna go to Texas or there. I'm like, go to Texas. I'm like, you don't want to live in Washington. That's just me. I'm not trying to get all like intense about anything, folks, but anytime. Anyway, so no, I believe basically, though, I do think very, very strongly, and you can tell me if you agree or not, Jay, that they're setting up Star-Lord from Guardians of the Galaxy to be sort of a solo like type character, an Indiana Jones type character in the MCU. That's what they're going to do with him.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm seeing happening. Yeah, you saw Guardians 3, didn't you?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I haven't seen anything since Doctor Strange 2.
But I already linked it to you, didn't I? That at the end they said that Star-Lord was going to come back.
Uh-huh.
And I knew it was going to happen. I think anybody with common sense figured that if anybody was going to remain, to be him. Yeah. He's the most popular Guardians character. Right? And he's still young, right? He'd be a good addition to keep around in the MCU, I think. And I out of all of them, I can see him being the one that could pull off a solo vehicle on his own. Yeah. So you tell me. I think that would be the mold they would go with him. Would be like that sort of like the definition of Star Wars, a space western kind of deal. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and Rocket. And I don't know Rocket's fate at the end of. Oh, they'll team up. Oh, there'll be other. There'll be other characters. Whatever they do with them, there'll be other characters. Yeah. It would be. I wouldn't be surprised if Rocket or Nebula or somebody ends up popping up in whatever they do with them. Yeah. That'd be a great way to bring them back. Right. Right. Think about it. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Now that you think about it, that's good That's good fan service, right? Oh yeah. And nobody's ever truly dead in the comic books, anyway, man. Like no, but you know what? Disney and Marvel need to do everything they can right now to get people into those theaters, right? Yeah. So if that means when they come up with that shit, that they can, if they throw Nebula or Mantis or any of them into whatever they do with them, they do a solo film, it will get people in the seats. Okay, yeah.
No, you really we're playing Fast and Furious.
Oh God! Let me get started with Fast and Furious 10, dude.
I think they're gonna go into like the Fast and Furious.
It was better. It was better than. Listen, it was better. Fast and Furious 10 was better than Venom 2. I'll say that. Venom 2 was fucking disgusting. It was rough. Fast 10, man, I'll tell you right now, it was not that good. And Momoa as the villain, it was not so good. Momoa, sorry, man, did not work out. But you know what? Got to give him credit though. Great, authentic female against male combat scenes. Hand-to-hand combat scenes, real ones, where they're not just like knocking dudes out, like Shuri, right? Beating like knocking 200-pound dudes out that are 6'5" and shit with one punch. Yeah, they wasn't like that. Okay. Yeah, they do that with the whole Shuri though. No, their shit was real. It was like women picking up phones and shit, and hitting dudes with phones, throwing shit at dudes. Damn. Using weapons, right? You know what I mean? Whatnot, right? So they could fight, you know what I mean? Whatnot, right? But it was like tangible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They were actually getting fucked up. Like the dudes were beating them up. It's a little different than how the MCU's been. But back to episode 6. So you tell me, Jay. Basically, the premise of it is I don't care about the Jack Black part. I don't care about. I don't know who Lizzo is, right? Right. What's up, Ben? How you doing, brother?
Good. How's it going, guys?
Hey, man. You never met Jason before, have you? Or Wrath of Khan over here?
No, I haven't.
Well, Wrath of Khan is Jay's a good friend of the Bleeding Edge, and Wrath of Khan over here, Jassem, is a good friend of mine from back in the day in content creation. Nice. And that makes him your friend. That makes him your friend, buddy. So hey, sure. we're talking episode 6, man. So basically, Jay, and then I'll go to you, Ben, and you, Jassem. Essentially, like again, all I care about with the Jack Black Lizzo part. I get why people are like, oh, what the fuck about it? But like the casting, but like seriously though, all they really end up being is essentially they're the ones that run Plaisir 15. They're the Bombardier, the Bombardier or whatnot captain, and the Duchess. They run it. The whole planet is run by droids, right? Like that, all the people are like elite. That like they don't do anything for themselves. The droids do everything. They're like the workforce or the slave labor, everything. And essentially, they start revolting, right? Like they literally start revolting. And like, they introduce, of course, Christopher Lloyd from Back to the Future and whatnot, right? As the security officer. or whatever, right? Of the actual planet. And they don't have a military, of course, at all. They're not allowed to because the Bombardier is a former Imperial officer. So he has to hire the Mandalorians or to protect the planet and like handle this situation with these droids that are essentially, as you know, the character that Lloyd plays. I think it's Hellgate, Commissioner Hellgate, who's kind of insane. We find out he explains it as they're just malfunctioning, right? And there's a couple of droids that are like, I guess, gone rogue.
Yeah,
And they're kind of like stirring the whole thing up. And this is kind of a subterfuge. And we get some really funny video though when he shows them the video of the droids like fucking up and malfunctioning and shit and whatnot. That shit's hilarious. What did you think of that whole thing, Jay? Like, because just flush that premise out, because this is where it does actually kind of deep. Because obviously, what ends up happening is that Bo and Mando end up being charged with having to go hunt down these rogue droids, supposedly, right? One by one to like flush this out, right?
yeah.
And it goes into like sort of a Western detective mode style deal with like Grogu, Mando, and Bo, which is pretty dope. But the whole thing with the droids is actually deep, isn't it? The reason why the whole thing's going on and whatnot, it's not because they're just like malfunctioning. It's because of how they've been treated.
They're being what's the word?
Subjugated.
Yeah, and so it's not like they revolted on their own. Christopher Lloyd kind of was messing with their programming, but it also gave a feel of like real life right now with this AI, the artificial intelligence, and it's now getting so smart that we're looking at like some Skynet type shit. You
mean like my buddy ChatGPT over here that I'm talking to right now?
Was the Joyce look at that. That's all. That's exactly what I was saying. But yeah, so it kind of touches on like real life type situations at this point. And who thought that we would ever get to this point? When they made the movie The Terminator, it was like that was so like futuristic and all that stuff. Who would ever thought that it could potentially come to life? You know what I mean? It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I kind of just that whole side story. I don't know. It just seemed so convoluted and like they spent probably a half hour, 40 minutes on something that I don't know. I just felt was very unnecessary. But I'm just bitter because this is my least favorite episode.
Well, you weren't as bitter as I was the day that I tried to find condoms when I went to my shopping condoms recently. I mean, look, I was trying to find a condom that fit me, right? I mean, look, I even measured it up. See, Jassem, just so you know, for just for future reference, that's how you do it. You just hold it up right there to your penis.
Oh my god!
You measure your penis, and there I am, right? I'm proud. I've come to the conclusion that I don't fit magnums, right? Unfortunately. My lightsaber is not long enough. You know what I'm saying? It's a Grogu style lightsaber.
Oh my dude!
Whatever Grogu's got working down there, bro. I guess that's what I'm working with. You know what I'm saying? That's how me and Grogu connect, baby. We roll like that. Right, Ben?
Oh, for sure, dude. Yeah.
Ben, you know all about that extremely small dick life, right?
Oh yeah, 10-second champ right here.
That's right, baby. Hey, you know what? At least I'm doing better than you. At least I'm 17 seconds.
Hey, you gotta add those 7 seconds.
17.75 actually.
There you go.
I'm working my way up to 18 though, bro. Hey, Ben, I mean honestly, and again, I don't want to get heavy into this, but I actually, if I understood correctly, some of these droids, and honestly, I wish I would have had time. I wanted to go ahead and screenshot some of the different droids because I know that some of them come from all the different films, right? Yeah, they do, right. Like all across the whole Star Wars lore. They're all different droids there, like all the different classes and whatnot, right? There was even a C-3PO model, right? Yep. Yeah. No, and some of them have actually been wiped. They've had their memory cores wiped by like the Empire, right, and whatnot, and everything, or they've been on both sides of the intergalactic conflict. right? And don't they experience almost like sort of some type of like AI like PTSD?
It sounds like they do, and then also you got to remember too, they even have old battle droids and super battle droids working.
Yes,
all that stuff too. So even stuff from like the Clone Wars era, it's really interesting. Oh,
what the fuck?
what?
This Chinese, what's up? Oh, you coming on? Oh, we're on right now, bro. My bad, bro. My bad, dude. I forgot. My bad. All right, I'll be in the massage parlor in an hour. Okay. All right, bye. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. That's my massage appointment later. No, that's Kyle from True Believers. He forgot that we do the shows at 7:30 on Sundays. He was planning on coming out at 9:35. I'm like, nah, bro. That will be pretty late at that point. But so Kyle will be on here. So, anyways, no. All right, know what we have here, Almac. Didn't you say 2 episodes ago that Grogu and Bo-Katan would have sex? No, I did not say that. No, I don't think so, but I may have. You know what? It sounds like something I could say. That when you say so,
you would say, Jeff.
Yeah, I definitely. You know what? Honestly, Almac, if you say I said it, then I probably did. Honestly, because look, I've done reaction videos before where I talked about fucking aliens, right? Like, what that has to do with reacting to like a bandmate, I have no idea, but I did it. So at that point, it's very, very possible I said that. And I definitely would watch a video of Grogu banging Bo-Katan. I would enjoy that. I would not pay for it, but I would watch it. Right? Oh but I'll take Grogu sloppy seconds too. Anyways, so Ben, what do you think of episode 6 overall? Don't give me a rating, but just kind of give me the skinny, right? Before we get into the heavy shit here, the 7 and 8, where we really get into the meat and we get some Moff Gideon action.
6 was kind of interesting. It was like, for me, it was more of like a filler episode. Like they needed to get something to get the engine moving with the Mandalorians and everything like that. So they needed to fill that time basically between like the start of the episode and then into when Bo-Katan tries to go and get her army back, basically.
Yes, of course, because now we, as sort of, I believe Jassem mentioned, when we do start off in episode 6, we do see Axe again, and he does have the stolen Imperial fleet, right, with all the Mandalorians, his whole squad. Kyle, brother, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, brother, that I did not remind you about our different time on Sunday.
That's
my
all right.
bad,
You know, those hyperspace signals get all turned around. You know, the Aurora's out, Imperial interference. It's all good.
Well, you missed out, man. We were having a discussion about Grogu, fucking Bo-Katan, and everything and whatnot, and so you missed out in that whole segment, but that's all right.
Kyle.
Kyle,
what's going on, fellas?
Kyle, have you met Jay before?
I can't. Honestly, I can't. I think so, but I've been doing so much lately.
Jay's over from Danny's YouTube channel, the DJB Productions Network. You know Danny.
Okay. Yeah.
And
okay.
Have you met Ben before? Ben, this is Kyle.
No, I haven't met Ben. Nice to meet you.
I'll try to connect everybody, guys. I promise. Like at the end of the show, at some point by the end of tonight, if y'all want, I'll try to connect all of you social media wise, whatnot, everything. If you'd like me to, just let me know, and I'll try to connect y'all up.
I'm sorry to be hopping in right in the middle of the show, fellas. My apologies.
Hey, no, listen, man, it's good. You know what? Honestly, it's good that you came in. You're gonna bring in some Kyle. Jay, you better watch out, man, because Kyle knows his Star Wars lore, bro.
Oh, okay.
So just because you got the grand piano and shit and whatnot and all that.
One rule in life, I was always told never mess with a man who has a grand piano. That's just and just because you and Jassem fucking live right next door to each other in a copy of the same condo.
No, I live in his house.
Right? You guys have you guys have you have two fucking living rooms?
No,
that's
we're next to each other.
Somehow we're next to each other.
I was about to say.
What they're saying?
You know
No,
what I mean?
yeah, what they're saying is they live in Florida where they just build the same house over and over and over.
Oh,
Right,
yes.
right.
Yeah, they do too, folks. They do.
Absolutely.
Move down to Florida where you can literally go down the street and every fucking house is literally like every other one is built by the same builder.
It's not good when you come home from a night out on the town. You can easily get shot going in the wrong house.
This looks like mine.
Hey, one time I got into a car that I thought was my Uber and it wasn't. I ended up banging some chick.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, I swear to God.
He doesn't talk about the shots he had to have the next day. Notice.
Ben, I'm sorry. What were you going to say, brother?
I gotta watch out for that VD.
Hey, man, listen, I got a bacta tank, bro. As long as my bacta tank's okay, I'm good. I mean, I pray to God that I don't end up having anything fucked up with it, because if I got to go over to Tatooine and start fucking negotiating with the Jawas and shit, whatnot, bro, shit might get ugly.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
You just got to be like Boba Fett, man. Have your own personal one.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I'm a little direct. I'm pretty direct for the Jawas. So when they start dancing, do the dance with me and shit, whatnot, I ain't down with that. Right? It's all good though. No, but Kyle, welcome to the show. And no, sir. Give me a skinny, Kyle, on episode 6. Just would you agree that it was sort of a thriller episode before we kind of get in episode 7 and 8? Did you at least enjoy the lore?
The lore part of it was fine. The problem I had with there was a few issues I had with episode 6. I think that the problem I had with episode 6 was more the stunt casting than anything. And I think when you had that, it really took away from what they were trying to do with the lore of the episode. And I kind of felt like, having some of these people who were in it, just like it took some of the weight off the episode because you became so focused on the star casting in this. And I think you have to look at episode 6 in two ways. One, I think it was very important because they really kind of reestablished Bo-Katan in a leadership place. And also it was fun to revisit some of the droid things from the Clone Wars and things like that. But on the other side of it, it was definitely a filler episode because we knew we were coming to the final 2 episodes of the season, which was going to be the big heart of the story. And I think for this whole season as a whole, The Mandalorian, I never felt like until the last couple episodes really kind of grabbed its range of what it was trying to do in the earlier episodes of it was trying to focus on that Mandalorian thing, but still tell tales of the Mandalorian. And I know for a fact, I really do think that the first season or season 2.5 of The Mandalorian, if you want to call it Book of Boba Fett, a lot of what they were going to do in season 3 ended up going into that. And so season 3 had felt really up and down. And I think you had this episode, which was a good lead in, but I really do think Mandalorian did find its wavelength in the next 2 episodes we'll talk about. But yeah, this episode felt like that filler to kind of just like, okay, we're cleansing the palate a little bit because we're about to give you a bunch of heavy shit.
No, and I want to just put it out there now, Kyle, that honestly, guys, save any of that. Like, save anything. Let's focus episodically right now, right? Because honestly, as soon as we do, the first thing I'm going to ask right off that is I'm just going to go to everybody and give you as much time as you want to do what Kyle just did. Just take your time, think about it for a minute, and then lay it out, for everybody, and lay it out for me what your overall thoughts were of the whole season episodically from episode to episode, and you can even think about that now if you want. That'll be coming down the street here. Just your whole thoughts on, when you look back at the whole thing, sort of the whole picture, how did it flow, right? Like, episode to episode, the energy, right? What Kyle was just talking about. How did the filler episodes affect things? How did episode 3? You get what I'm saying, everybody, right? Like, just to give you kind of a heads up. That will be down the road. So you'll have that opportunity to go ahead and just break the whole thing down, right? And even tied into season 4 that we know we're going to get. Let's see what we got here. Jeff would have been best porno ideas. Yes, well, you know what? Whatever, those definitely. I'm sorry if Almac, I'm sorry, the timing, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but that sounds great. Yes. I'm surprised Pelly would have sex with Jawas. That's right. Pelly does have sex with Jawas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Tatooine. I'm sure that the pickings are a little slim.
I was about to say, what are her choices? Like the Tuscans or the Jawas?
Or Jawas,
Yeah.
And Tuscan Raiders stink under them bandages. You gotta.
Nah, but you know what? Though I just realized it though. With the Jawas and the Tuscan Raiders, you cannot tell the gender of them at all.
True.
Right? There is no gender. They're like agender.
I mean, I guess you could go with some crazy like demon hentai with the digital remastered Sarlacc pit. I don't know, but just saying, you know.
Well, hey, I mean, honestly, I think they should create their own. They should have. What are their pronouns? You know, well, I mean, if you're a Sith person, what are your pronouns, right? Like, I mean, what, you know,
they don't have them. They're just I'm a Tuscan Raider. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I got you. You know, no, that's right. That's right. Just look at my belts. The amount of belts I've got on. There you go. That's how you can tell. So, Jassem, episode 6. I obviously I think I pretty much asked you whatever you thought it was pretty much a filler. Jay, your final thoughts on episode 6? Just, you know, kind of, did you get anything out of it? Did you enjoy? Did you and anybody else who wants to come in on this too to finish this up? Did anybody in here really enjoy the angle of having Bo and Grogu and Mando working together throughout the episode?
I did, and I think I think that was probably the highlight of the episode. If I was going to take anything positive out of it, that for sure, because it gives you some foreshadowing of what the future's gonna hold as far as their relationship and where Mandalore is going to go from here.
Okay. Does anybody else want to talk about this? I really enjoyed it. This is the last time that I think we're going to ever see Mando and Bo. Unless they bring Bo back for season 4 and all. They team them up, which I don't think is going to happen. But I could be wrong. Does anybody else want to jump in? Feel free on, you know, just that whole angle, because honestly, I feel like Grogu's more tolerable and palatable to me when Grogu's with Bo and Mando.
I can see that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I really enjoyed watching it in the fact that, like, they brought back that, like, old-fashioned detective style / Western and mixed them together. And then obviously at the end with the whole linking up with the rest of the Mandalorians and that whole ordeal. That was really cool too. Like just seeing it all come together, like from the beginning to the end. And yeah, I actually did enjoy seeing Christopher Lloyd working as the head security guy. That was pretty cool too. Like, and just the different cameos in that episode were it was actually pretty fun. Still a filler episode, but pretty fun as well.
Most definitely. And this is actually that's from our review of Tropic Thunder on Friday night, folks. You know, Robert Downey Jr. baby, pulling off blackface and doing it with prestige. But no, I'm sorry. Jassem, my friend, did you have any thoughts? Or Kyle, did you have any thoughts on what I just mentioned as far as, you know, the Bo and Mando together kind of doing their own thing in that episode where they kind of like go on, you know, on their little job, their little pursuit or their sleuth work or whatnot, right? And they ferret out the one robot and all that. They had some good action scenes. You know, what'd you think?
I think with that, and I did like the detective noir aspect of it, and I thought that of all the guest star appearances, the Christopher Lloyd one was the most fitting in that. But I think the importance of this episode was really, I think, truly, this is the episode that really established, I think, the relationship and the respect between Bo and Mando that they talk about in the episodes after. But I think this episode was really the episode that really showed how strong that relationship has come since the beginning of the season, and I think that was very important, especially what we know we're heading into. And I think in the aspect too, using the noir style to bring back and give a little tribute to some Clone Wars stuff and things like that, it was a good way to do it without having this big infestation of Clone Wars come into the Mandalorian. And I to me, that's been something that's been a bit of a problem in some of the Star Wars stuff that's happened. Is I know it's Dave's pet and everything, such of those, but I always get a little worried that sometimes they get a little bit go a little too much with the Clone Wars throwbacks, and I think they nailed it perfect here, and keeping the aspect on the droids was very interesting. And like I said, just building that relationship between Bo and Mando and their mutual respect was incredibly important.
Jassem.
I would say that this is going to be like, different than what Kyle says. I agree with everything Kyle says, but also to add, I notice that every time when you see Bo and Mando just like working together, the Star Wars fan base always makes memes of like, what if Bo-Katan and Mando were a couple? So it's like,
Right.
yeah.
I was wondering when somebody was going to bring this up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw today, just today, that there was a deleted like kiss scene, and like I don't know, with Din Djarin just getting back into the Creed, that why would he take his helmet off again? I think that's silly. I would like to see when the Mandalorian's all over with that he goes back to that Korean girl from season 1, because they seem to hit it off right away. And
Are you talking about Finn from Boba?
No, I know. They
no.
go back to season 1 when they went to the planet and took out the Walker. That girl on that
okay.
planet.
Her.
The one who
yeah.
got canceled from Disney.
Oh, yeah. Was she Native American?
No.
I thought she was like Korean or something.
Yeah, I thought she was
kind of made it look like
I thought
Korean
Gina
or Vietnamese.
Carano?
No, she was cute.
No, it's not Gina.
No, not Gina Carano. She was she was like, she lived on the planet already.
Yeah, didn't she have a son?
Oh,
Yeah, she had a
the
son.
village girl.
Yeah, the village girl.
No, Mando even liked her too, didn't he, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that was actually really sweet. Now that I think about it, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was actually at that point it showed a really like a different side about Mando.
Yeah, like a human side. He had emotion, where most Mandalorians are just seem to be heartless, and just they're warriors, So if you're a warrior, who's got time for love,
No, it was a good piece of his character arc.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which and again, just one, not real quick, real short for everybody. Did you feel like season 3 really as a vehicle evolved Mando as well as the other seasons did? Did he progress? Or did his arc take him in a direction like where I felt like he regressed in a way almost as a character to some extent? I mean, unless you consider him being a father to fucking Grogu some kind of important shit, which I don't. To be honest with you, I think it's kind of stupid. To be honest with you, honestly, who gives a shit? But seriously, I mean, I guess it's cute and everything and whatnot, right? But and don't get me wrong, it would be dope as fuck if Grogu ended up leading the Mandalorians.
Yeah,
if he ended up, seriously, if he became the Mandalore, whatever, whatnot, and all that shit, like that, is that what they call it? Kyle, Jay, what do you call the leader of the Mandalore?
Oh,
well, I mean, the last true leader, I mean, was basically the Duchess.
Satine, yes. No, but who was the first one? Who was the one that tamed the Mythosaur? That was Mandalore. That's why they called it. That's why they called the.
But I don't think there's actually an official title.
You're right.
With that role, I don't think they ever gave it an official title, because I mean, let's face it, the leadership of Mandalore has had more. Mandalore has had more leaderships than you do dates on a Friday night, Jeff.
Hey, listen, man. Believe it or not, I do work. And I don't have the energy for all those dates, man. I'm telling you right now. I'm not my dating life is not as sporadic as I make it seem. I may kind of overblow it a little bit at times. But Ben, since you got a dip here soon, I just wanted to go ahead and give you a chance really quick and whatnot and everything, sort of as a premonition for everybody else. Go ahead and take your time right now before you to dip and whatnot if you want to and everything and whatnot. And just talk about episodes 7 and 8 and kind of what you took from them and everything, right?
Yeah.
And we'll see where you're at from there. But go ahead.
Yeah, for episodes 7 and 8, I think they did a really good job wrapping up the season, and also they did a really good job with Moff Gideon, and then also tying in how even post Empire they were trying to clone, but also clone with force sensitive blood and try and make more force sensitive people in a way, especially with Moff Gideon. And then I also love the tribute that Dave and John put in there to the original Mandalorian suit that they had Boba Fett in, the white one. I'm sure y'all know about that one.
Right.
I really, really enjoyed that. And then how they wrapped up the season was just epic. And the fact that the Mandalorians now have a home, and then also Mandalore is going to be a thing again. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they take it in the next season, especially with the whole Mandalore being, I guess, repopulated and all that good stuff too. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. And, at that point, since I already went that way with Ben, Ben, if you could stick around for a couple more minutes, I'll just go around the table right now. And I have some questions about the final two episodes. But start with you, Kyle. Just give me your skinny real quick. You're the same way Ben did, sort of on 7 and 8, like kind of what your take is as it coupled.
I think 7 and 8 were the best 2 episodes of the season, and it's not really even that close. I think what they explored a lot of interesting concepts that have been thrown out there. I think one of the biggest things of importance too is we start seeing a little bit of even the setup for what the bigger connected thing that Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau have been working on. Here we get mention of Thrawn. We see the cloning aspect of it. I think there's some things that were interesting too, as far as bringing Mandalorian together and seeing this new Mandalorian culture kind of develop throughout the season and coming to a little bit of its apex of this so far of the joining of the more cultist Mandalorians versus Bo-Katan and her crew coming together. And it's going to be really interesting to see what the future of the Mandalorians and how it plays out, because obviously I think one of the biggest things we pull from this is that Din is going his own separate way now, with Grogu now being his basically adopted son. And we're going to see, I think, what was going to be a lot of the concepts for the now canceled Star Wars show that they had planned, the Rangers of the New Republic. I think a lot of those ideas are going to end up in Mandalorian season 4. And I think what you're seeing right now is that Mandalorian wrapped up a lot of interesting things. I'm not ruling out we're not going to see Giancarlo Esposito again, because there was too many clones floating around. Clones have become a very popular thing. How do we know it was the original who was killed? He is a smart enough Moff to say, no, my original, I'm sending one of my better clones for this situation. I'm not getting on the ground and risking my life here, especially with Thrawn in play now. So I think there's one of the most interesting things we were going to have in our next round of Star Wars, starting with Ahsoka, is the moving of the pieces of the chess on the chessboard that started with these 2 episodes of The Mandalorian. And I think when we look back at these 2 episodes, we're going to see those as kind of the key episodes that really set up what's going to be happening going forward in at least the Favreau-Filoni corner of live-action Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Jay. Jay.
I agree with you, and I don't think there's anybody on the planet at this point who thinks that was the real Moff Gideon that died. It was, and I told you earlier, Jeff, it's just he went out on such a non-epic, I don't know, when his character died in Breaking Bad, that was so badass. I mean, that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen on television. And I would expect nothing less than, to match that. He just doesn't go and have a Star Destroyer land on the planet. He just blows up into flames. So I guarantee you that was a clone. Maybe it wasn't a clone when in episode 7, when they were when they kidnapped Din Djarin. But yeah, I can't believe that that's how he goes out, and that his character's done with. I just don't buy it. Especially since he was only in 2, maybe 3 episodes this season.
Yeah.
And he's the main antagonist. So,
Yeah. No, you're right. He is. And basically, we talked about this before too, Jay. I don't believe it either. Why would a stack of fucking what was that? Just basically like a pile of debris that fell on him?
That was the entire ship.
No, that was the ship. No, that was the axe. Oh, the axe flew the whole ship on him? Yeah. That had to be one of his clones. Why would he actually have himself out there?
The only other thing that could be possibility is they didn't really know a great way to write him out, knowing what's coming with Thrawn, and they just needed to get him cleared off the board because Thrawn is filling in, and it's just going to go with Thrawn. Anything's a possibility.
Why Gideon would not just fall in line if Thrawn was to reappear?
No, Gideon wants to fight Thrawn's power rise.
I see. Okay.
Gideon, the internal power struggle of the Empire is going to, I think, be something that's going to be playing out probably in Ahsoka as well with Thrawn's return.
Sure.
But I'm sure let me put it this way, I'm very confident by the end of Ahsoka, Thrawn will be in charge.
I don't know for sure, but I believe we'll see Thrawn at least. But be in some way we'll at least see one scene with Thrawn. And
Thrawn's already guaranteed to be a part of Ahsoka. So yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
I actually thought we might even get a little glimpse of a Thrawn hologram or
which Mickelson brother, Kyle. Which Mickelson brother is it? I was trying to tell Jay about this earlier today. Which Mickelson brother is it? Mars or Mads is playing him?
I believe it's Lars Mickelson, but
Lars. Okay, Lars. All right, there you go. So it's Lars
because Mads. Yeah, it's Lars who's playing him because Mads was already in Star Wars in Rogue One. So
that's right. He wasn't. That's right. He was in Rogue One. Jassem. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts, episodes 7 and 8, just real quick, overall, nothing like too detailed. Like I said, I've got some questions, but just your skinny on them, overall,
Well, these 2 episodes were actually so fantastic because the rest of the season, I didn't really like it. It didn't really feel as engaging as previous seasons where the majority of the episodes are so great. These last 2 were fantastic. I will note that Gideon's suit, I don't even know how he got that in the first place. Did he get it as part of his reinforcements or something? So I wish there was clarity on that, but it's beautiful storytelling, especially the ending. The ending was just so great. I just don't see why they would make season 4.
Going to.
Yeah. I think they could change their mind.
Fab already said he wrote the whole season already.
Yeah, I think there's still adjustments on the fly because Disney's a mess right now, and you add in the writer's strike and what's going with and the havoc that's causing. I think it all depends on how delayed things get by the writer's strike as well.
That's
I think
true.
they're going to turn into a movie rather than make a season 4.
No. If I understand correctly, Jay, Kyle, Ben, anybody, if you want to jump in on this, if I understand correctly, the plan always was just to do a season 4, and that was it. I guess I didn't know that until just now, recently.
The current Favreau has gone on record saying he could write for The Mandalorian until he's dead.
I heard. Yes, I heard. Yeah.
The plan.
Didn't he basically say that he hasn't even written half of what he wanted to write for The Mandalorian?
He's got most of season 4 is written at least in a rough copy, but because of the writer's strike, they're limited on what they can do to change those scripts now, and that's a problem that's actually hitting other productions right now. One of the biggest ones is Ryan Reynolds with Deadpool 3. He is not allowed to improvise from the script at all because if he does, he's violating the writer's strike. So it's a mess, and that's why so many things are starting to go on hold on production. But right now, the initial plan was to do Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, a Mandalorian season 4, and then whatever this movie that Filoni has planned, which was going to wrap up a lot of stuff that was set up in that, with the possibility of a second season of the Ahsoka and maybe a 5th Mando season, depending on how things played out after that film. But right now, I think we can't guarantee anything because it's way too up in the air. Yeah. So it's with the writer's strike, and I don't see it ending anytime soon. So we better enjoy what we got coming out because I think we could be a while before we see some new stuff. I would suspect 2024 is going to feel like the first year we got back from COVID, where there wasn't a lot out there because everything had been delayed and they had to figure out how to do reshoots and things like that. I suspect 2024 is going to end up being the same way because of this writer's strike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree 100%, and I think that, and I've already looked into this, and Jay, I think I've already asked this already about you, Ben. I don't know if you know anything about this, Jassem. I don't know, Jassem. I don't know how much you follow the actual day-to-day Star Wars stuff and whatnot that comes up on YouTube and then it on the media and online and whatnot. But basically, from what I understand, they don't even have a title. I haven't heard any kind of title for the Filoni film at all.
Not yet.
No.
The only rumor is that it's sounding like it's going to be a version of Heir to the Empire.
Right. That's what I heard. Yeah.
And this may be my own naivete of not knowing Star Wars lore or whatever. I just don't understand. It seems very strange to me that the Miss Mandoverse is basically it's what breathed energy back, and that and Andor brought back into life into the Star Wars fandom. If I understand correctly, right? It drew me into where I'm buying the novels and shit and whatnot, right? I'm watching the Clone Wars. Like, I'm gonna rewatch all the films.
Oh, wait,
right?
Obi-Wan didn't make you engage with the Star Wars universe?
I didn't even watch Obi-Wan, bro. I was too busy at the massage parlor.
Oh yeah, dude. Obi-Wan's good stuff too. Like, I would definitely recommend that one.
Nah, man, I couldn't watch Obi-Wan, honestly, Jassem, for one reason, because at that point I was reviewing 3 different TV series every week. Right?
Yeah.
I was you know what I'm saying? I was doing She-Hulk, I was doing fucking House of the Dragon, and I was doing goddamn what do you call it? Rings of Power at the same time. Right? So I was swamped, bro. I was swamped, dude.
So I actually have a question for you guys here then that kind of ties into this, because you brought up Andor, Jeff. Do you think I don't want to say it's a problem, but do you think that one of the things that has happened is Andor has changed?
Don't start talking about Andor, bro.
Well, no, just a question, because I think it does reflect on Mandalorian. Do you think Andor has changed, especially more of the adult viewers' expectations of what to get out of a Star Wars show now?
Oh, God. Kyle, you had to do it, man. Why you got to come up with some question like that when not that could turn into like a fucking 3-hour conversation?
Because I think it does affect Mandalorian, because I think there are people who out there now who are looking for more of that darker and more of an edge to their Star Wars, because they've shown that they're willing to do it now. And I think people were kind of hoping for a little bit of that out of this season of Mandalorian as well. When I think Mandalorian is still designed to be written for all ages, but I think there's this like after Andor effect happening.
I thought Mandalorian was written more for the younger crowds.
Hold on. It's a good question. It is okay, but Ben has to go. Yep. Let me go to Ben. All right, let Ben have his thoughts on the final season of season 3, right, Kyle? And then we'll entertain. Everybody can entertain and jump in on your question. All right. Ben, the floor is there, my friend. Your thoughts on the full season 3, The Mandalorian?
I think like episode by episode, episode 1 and 2, I came out pretty strong with going back to Mandalore and exploring all of that. And I felt it like to everybody else's point, the energy kind of died off a little bit, and then with the last 2 episodes, it just came in like what we know the Mandalorian to be, like hard charging, hard hitting, great storytelling, great action, great acting, just great all around. And I think that was a perfect way to end it. And I mean, hell, I'm pretty easily entertained. So overall, I loved it. It wasn't as good as the first 2, but I loved it. It was still very good. It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan. That's for sure. Those are my final thoughts.
Hey, that's great, brother. What would you give if you had to get, if you can, and you don't have to, because I know this could be tough, but if you can, what kind of rating would you give season 3? Do you think on a 1 to 10?
Or 1 to 10? I would say around an 8.5. 8.5.
Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, right around the same time that you finished from Head.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, because we established that earlier, right? It was 8 seconds. So there you go.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. There you go. So you're very consistent.
Hey, gotta stay the same, man. Just gotta keep.
Hey, listen.
Keep going.
Is that what are you rocking there? Is that a Star Wars shirt?
It is.
Hell yeah, brother!
Like a Star Wars baseball.
I
shirt.
love it, brother. Anytime that somebody, I love seeing the swag, bro. I love seeing the swag. Hey man, listen, stay in touch, right? We've got some good shit coming up and whatnot, and we have Secret Invasion coming up here. In a week?
Something
right?
Like
yep. So I mean, we're going to be reviewing all the episodes, man. They're going to be an hour long. Every one of them is going to be a good show.
Yeah, sounds good, man. But yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch, and I'll see you guys next time.
Yo, Batman Under the Red Hood was fucking awesome, bro.
Oh, dude, yeah, we'll have to talk about that.
We will.
Yeah, dude, I love that movie. It's great.
All right, bro. All right, Ben. Take care, brother.
Nice meeting you, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, now, and let me just make it clear from the private chat. It wasn't just Andor that sucked me back into Star Wars, the Star Wars lore. It was a combination of the Mandalorian and Andor. It was right. It's just that Andor more was a force than it was Mando. Mando gave me more of like the action, like the lore type stuff, right? Where Andor gave me like the fucking that adult. I look at it as Star Wars produced by HBO Studios.
Well,
that's what it felt like.
Andor gave us a Star Wars we'd really never seen before, and it gave us the Star Wars that was kind of a little bit of the underbelly of the rebellion. And I think it gave us a Star Wars that wasn't trying to be for everybody. It was Tony Gilroy knew what he was doing. He was a big enough name to where he could come in and write the story he wanted. They were going to leave him alone to do it. And I think it worked out. It worked out wonderfully because I think it gave a lot of the older Star Wars fan base that's grown up on Star Wars, a Star Wars that has matured with them instead of a Star Wars that, as George Lucas has said, Star Wars is meant for 12-year-olds.
Okay, now listen, Jassem, and then you, Jake, bounce right off that. What Kyle just said right there. What he just said. Jassem, what do you think about that? Did you watch Andor, right?
Mm-hmm.
You watched it, Jay?
Yeah.
I was even on your panels for Andor.
I'm fucking with you, bro. I'm joking with you. I'm busting your balls. I know you were on the damn panels for Andor. I'm fucking with you. Come on, man. Jesus, you gotta come on the bleeding edge more, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking Andre's a pop culture guy's got thicker skin than you. Anyways, bro, but listen, Jassem, no, seriously, what Kyle just covered right there, right? Without going on a tangent like Andres would. Like I think there's a lot to this. I don't want to go deep into this, but Jay, I think you would agree. I think this is a very interesting question, and what Kyle just pointed out and everything is worth connecting or bouncing off of. I wonder myself, what was Filoni thinking? Who was this for? What was Andor for?
I mean, there was a lot of interest in Rogue One, like with all the characters, like, and I think that's like the main thing that like sparked, the idea of creating the book Catalyst, creating like all the other books like Rebel Rising, and even this show Andor, because everyone just wants to know more. Yeah, I see your comments, Jeff. But yeah, that's just the beginning. As for why it went to be dark, I mean, Cassian was always a dark character, so it just made sense why someone would want to create a show where his backstory is dark. Is there anything you want to add, Leech?
Excuse me. Going off of what Kyle said about a Star Wars movie or show that has grown with the original trilogy fans, they're the ones that are getting the most recognition and praise right now. Looking back, even through all of Star Wars, my top two favorite Star Wars movies is Empire Strikes Back. No, I'll say three favorite movies. Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One. None of them ended on a truly happy note. It was dark. They were dark, gritty, and if you look at Rogue One, like almost real life. I mean, that was like the platoon in the Star Wars, movie realm. So I don't know why they want to gear it towards kids, because if you make a good movie, like A New Hope was the first one, and that was acclaimed by every age range, and it wasn't geared towards kids, but kids friggin' dug it, because it was a good movie, so I think they just need to focus on good storytelling and don't care about what age range you're shooting for. You should be shooting for all age ranges. And
can you make out that poster up there in the corner right there?
Yeah, the Rogue One poster.
That's Rogue One, baby. That's it right
cool.
there. Right above my Mando poster on the bottom. That's Mando at the bottom with Grogu cuddling.
Oh, yeah, from the first episode.
Yeah, the cuddling scene.
Yeah, so you could see the just telling a good story, good written story, without gearing towards anybody. Just do it. Those are the ones that are hits. Mandalorian is a little bit geared towards kids, but like definitely Andor is not, and that was huge for them. And who would have thought beforehand, like the second hand main character from Rogue One was going to have this stellar friggin' show that was just, it didn't have to be Star Wars to be awesome. It was a good story.
No, that's the coolest thing about the poster I got, right? Is that the main character on the top of the poster is not even in Andor.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But no, and I love it. You know what? I love it. See, that should show you right there, like how invested I am into Star Wars right now, right? That like I'm over here buying old Rogue One posters and shit and throwing them up and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm rejiggering my stuff so I can fit Star Wars shit in my background.
Nice.
That's why I've got open spots here. I'm waiting for my Star Wars posters.
Very cool.
It's like that, baby, right? Genevieve O'Reilly needed to go up right there. It's that simple. It was either her, Luthen, Cassian, right? Those are my choices, and so I went with her.
Luthen should be your.
No, I'm sorry. Genevieve O'Reilly killed it in that fucking series. I don't care.
Oh yeah, she was phenomenal in that. I think what's interesting too when we look at Mandalorian, because for me, season 2 of Mandalorian has been the best season of Mandalorian, and I think when I look at season 3 and I think Ben said it very well. Season 3 started off really good, and I think what happened with season 3, and I think this reflects in the final 2 episodes of season 3 as well. It got hit by 2 things. Well, actually, I'll check that 3 things. It got hit by the cancellation of Rangers of the New Republic. Mm-hmm. It got hit by Disney marketing, because Disney marketing, we need more Grogu. We need more Grogu. We can't wait to have Grogu. Wait until the end of season 3, or even not have Grogu in season 3. So Filoni and Favreau basically got stuck on the fly, kind of having to semi-sabotage Robert Rodriguez's Book of Boba Fett to make it Mando season 2.5. So we have the reunification of the Mandalorian and Grogu, not even in the Mandalorian's own show. It's in a side show that the Mandalorian was probably only supposed to really realistically be in maybe 1.5 episodes. And because of that, I think the writing on season 3 had to change. It ended up landing us that really out of place 3rd episode, because I think that was supposed to be part of Rangers of the New Republic. Mm-hmm. And I think having that episode really changed the energy, and it took getting to the end of episode 6 and really what happened in 7 and 8 to really get Mando back on track. And I think now it kind of feels with the way Mandalorian season 3 ended, that we're kind of like at the end of a chapter and we're getting ready to start the next big part of the storyline with what's going with Ahsoka kicking off, Skeleton Crew, and then whatever we're going to have after that. And right now, the only thing we know for 100% for certain is Filoni's going to have a movie. We don't know when we're going to see Mandalorian season 4. We don't know if we're going to get Ahsoka season 2. I would bet money that both are going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And to be honest with you too, with Disney being so shaken up, I still question the validity of the other 2 movie projects they have coming in that they've announced, because I really think there could be cold feet on the Rey. And I think depending on what happens with Indiana Jones and James Mangold, and I love James Mangold, he's made some of my favorite films recently. But if Indiana Jones should somehow not meet expectations, does Disney get cold feet about having James Mangold do a Star Wars film?
Kyle, no, Jay, you can address that if you want, but after that, I want to rein it in because I want to focus on Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to comment. I just
agree.
Yeah.
Now, what's up? Why isn't the Armorer going to get her own series? Episode 6, baby. Hell yeah. Right? Which one was that? Was that episode? Was that episode 5? 5. That was 5.
Yeah,
that was 5. Yep. Yeah, that was when they defended what do you call it? Navarro, whatnot, everything, and that's when they were given their land and whatnot, and decided to stay and whatnot, like and live there. The Mandalorians. That's when they became their home. Dude, that's an awesome scene, man. Emily Swallow. I don't know if that's her.
Oh yeah, that's definitely her. She's a legit stunt woman. So
okay. Oh, she actually does all her own stunts.
A lot of it, yeah. She's legit like that. So
well, she didn't have that many combat scenes in the season anyway.
No, but no. I think you bring up a good point because what I think one of the things that could be in the hopper at Disney, and again because of the situation with the writer strike and just with all the changeover at Disney right now, and questioning what the future of Disney is, I could easily see them doing a Mandalorian season 4, which is Din. But maybe we get like a spin-off one season thing that deals with the Mandalorians that Katie Sackhoff as Bo-Katan is the lead in, and we see more of what's happening on Mandalore and dealing with the rebirth of the Mandalorian culture and the planet. And so that way you're still telling Din's story, but now you have a way to spin off and give this Katie Sackhoff, who is absolutely beloved by the Star Wars fans, her own series that she can carry, and then you bring in these other supporting characters like the armor and stuff like that who can have a bigger role in that series than they even did in the Mandalorian.
Okay, from right now, I am dropping Mandalorian trailers, season 1 and 2. If anyone wants to take a break, go ahead. When we come back, right, we're regrouping, and this is going to be all out, full on, episode 7, episode 8, full concentration, right, contrasting the 2 episodes, the finale. Episode 7, I thought episode 7 was the best episode out of the series. I did. That and 2 were like close to tied for me, right? Because 2 was just like almost an aberration. It was an episode. There was no other visually stunning episode like that for me out of the Mandalorian series than that one with the monsters and creatures and shit and whatnot. There's just a totally different element. But and then with the finale, I wasn't disappointed. I just thought that it was a little bit
too fast.
No, they like me and Jay talked about it. They put too much into episode 7. They should have saved some for episode 8. They gave us too much. But so when we come back from the trailers, we'll flush that out, whatnot, everything. We'll get into basically just all of your season 3, I guess readings or feelings or ratings of the whole season. Take your time, and then we'll just do one round of just basically everyone's thoughts on how season 4 will play out, right? Without going too far into Thrawn or getting too far into the other stuff. I've got the Ahsoka trailer. If we have time, I'll drop it, whatnot, and we can talk about it for a minute, and we'll get the hell out of here. All right. So if you got to pee or if you got to go hit the crack pipe or whatever, whatnot, have at it. Right?
Yeah, man.
All right.
See you on the flip.
Trailer time, baby. Woo-hoo. I even got Rogue One too. They're all gone, Kyle, so they don't know. It's a surprise. I got the Rogue One trailer too. I was inspired. You're over there, dude. Kyle. You're too much, folks. I'm telling you, Kyle. I got on the phone with him the other day, and I'm long-winded as fuck, right? Everyone knows that, right? And like everyone tolerates me and whatnot, which I'm blessed and thankful that people tolerate me and whatnot. They know I'm well-intentioned. I'm innocent. I don't mean to just I talk on and on. I'm very enthusiastic about people, and I like talking about geek shit. But Kyle starts going on with me the other day and starts fucking dropping all these profound questions on me and shit in the phone, or telling me this information and all this new shit, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, Kyle, seriously, dude, why are you gonna drop that on me and put me in this position or whatever right now? We're you're trying to geek me up to get me to have some 45-minute conversation about this one fucking thing, right? No,
gotta keep you on your toes.
I'm just playing, man. No, you know what? That's cool because at the end of the day, right, that's sort of going back to the recipe of why I started the Bleeding Edge was the whole, I told you before a long time ago, the whole concept of being able to meet people in life and content creation and whatnot that you don't have to agree with on everything, right? But be able to have a good time and record together and even be friends, you know what I'm saying, and whatnot, right? And have conversations like that and whatnot where we can just bullshit,
Yeah, exactly. But that's what the content creation is all about. To give opinions, whether you agree or not, but have some fun, talk some geek stuff, and go from there. But you know what? You gotta show some trailers, man.
I know. I haven't seen the first trailer for the first season of The Mandalorian in so long. We're talking years. StreamYard, man. I finally figured out. I finally figured out what my problems were with my my video reactions, brother. It's this new setting that they added, the automatically adjust mic volume deal.
Uh-huh.
Echo cancellation has to be turned off. Automatically adjust mic volume has to be turned on. If you want your video and your audio to come out okay when you do this kind of stuff, then you have to reset it back. That's the problem I was having.
Well, hit that play button, sir.
I'm hitting that, baby. I got it. Let's do it.
Bounty hunting is a complicated profession. Don't you agree?
Uh-oh, I'm abandoning my post over here, folks. I apologize.
You're smoking a cigarette on live?
I am, yes. That's right, folks. Weed gives you bleeding edge, endorse smoking. It's good for you, and it makes you cool.
Your sound is really off, but
Oh, is it?
yeah, you're real quiet.
Oh, it's because, yeah, it's because of the settings I have for playing the trailers.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mandalorian Season 2. Hey, you okay, buddy? Huh? You alright? Hey. Is there fucking no volume?
Yeah, I'm not hearing anything.
You gotta be freaking kidding me, dude. That sucks. Alright. I apologize. Thank you, Kyle.
Show me the one safety deemed such destruction. You must reunite it with its own kind.
Where?
This you must determine. The songs of eons past tell of battles between Mandalore the Great and an order of sorcerers called Jedi.
You expect me to search the galaxy and deliver this creature to a race of enemy sorcerers?
This is the way.
You know this is no place for a child. Wherever I go, he goes. So I've heard. This is the way.
That is a great trailer.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix the audio here. Because you're right. I know it. How's this? Is that better?
Little bit. You can tweak it a little bit more.
How's that?
Better.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Now, okay. Now, I haven't watched those trailers. In the first one, I haven't watched in what? I guess probably 5 years, I think, or something. Or if I roughly. The second one, I don't think I ever saw. To tell you the truth, I thought it was great. Does anybody feel nostalgic?
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
I missed the Razor Crest.
Jassem, you go ahead. You start, man. Like, what's the nostalgia feel like to see the trailers and whatnot? To sit here and talk about season 3, do a season breakdown, recap, and whatnot, and everything, and kind of look back at like what got us to where we're at right now.
I mean, just looking back, I remember it's like when I first saw those trailers, I was like very excited. A lot of times I would like mix the scenes up, thinking like 2 scenes might be part of the same episode when really they didn't end up being the same episode. Just seeing the Razor Crest itself just like made me just reminded me of the days where like the Razor Crest would like fight the TIE fighters and stuff. Now we have this Naboo starfighter that fights pirate ships. Good times. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. All right. What do you got? What do you got to say there, Mr. Din Leach? What is the nostalgia like? How does it feel to like? I like that. I'm glad I played those trailers. That really kind of like refreshes you in a way, sort of like to resets you to kind of remember, like, okay, this is what led up to like episode 1 of season 3.
Yeah.
And then took us to like the finale.
Right. It like the nostalgia for me, it actually hit 2 different ways. When I originally saw those trailers, and you saw the start, yeah, what are you drinking there, bro?
It's a protein shake.
The nostalgia kind of brought me back to my childhood and like thinking like what would happen, and this is the 13-year-old Din Leach going like, wow, I wonder what's next. I wonder if there's peace in the galaxy, is there going to be further adventures, all this other stuff. And then at the same time, I got a little nostalgic for how excited I was that this Mandalorian show was coming on. And when you saw that trailer, it just kicked it in a high gear because it just looks so amazing. And you just thinking to yourself, oh, what was that? What could this lead into? And just really build the anticipation for the premiere.
Kyle.
I think for me, when I go back, especially for season 1, going back, seeing that trailer and how excited I was to see the things that I grew up on in Star Wars and see those things, not something that was sequel trilogy or something like that, seeing the things that I remember growing up on, and then season 2, just being so excited for season 2 because I was so brought back into what Star Wars could be by season 1 of The Mandalorian. And I think that season 2 would just, I think there was more excitement for season 2 of Star Wars. I think in modern Star Wars history, I think the only time the excitement was higher was because nobody had seen The Force Awakens yet, and we're so excited to have Star Wars back on this big screen when Force Awakens hit. But I think, truthfully, I think the premiere of The Mandalorian season 2 was even more important and more anticipated than pretty much anything but The Force Awakens. So I think that was just a lot of really important things in Star Wars history.
Almost as important as Jassem drinking the milk from the fucking creature or whatever on the
protein shake.
Yeah, over on Loose Island over there and shit. Anyways, no, but you know what? Emily Swallow, the armorer, man, wow, she really her narrating that trailer, or at least the beginning of it, whatnot like that and everything. Wow, she really set a tone right there. And I wouldn't know. I've never seen one thing pop up in my feed saying I've never heard anybody mention anything about her having her own show or them doing anything with her character and whatnot and everything and all that. Have you guys ever heard anything like that?
No.
But I wouldn't be surprised if they turn her into like a John Wick of the Star Wars universe.
Oh God. I mean, she's kind of a one-trick pony, really, though, when you think about it. I mean, she really I don't know if her character is pretty one trick, but it is a dope character though. What would you say, Leech? Would you say that the armor was one highlight of the season, no matter what, like good or bad?
Yeah, especially when she started kicking ass, and I thought that was a real important scene, especially since a lot of the fandom was leaning towards that she was a spy and that she was working for the Empire and stuff like that.
That's what I wanted you to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. So to see her just kicking ass and I guess she was kind of leading the gathering of all the different Mandalore sects and things and coming together as one, with one cause in mind, and that's to rebuild Mandalore. I like her character. I don't know that she could stand on her own on her own series or whatever. I don't see that happening.
She's certainly no fucking pacifist.
No doubt.
No doubt, not in that scene anyway. Yeah. What do you think, Kyle? What do you think about the armor? Do you think, give or take, whatever if you thought Mandalorian season 3 was a major drop off for the series, whatnot, everything, did the armor still validate the character?
I don't think season 3 was a major drop off. I think it just got affected by different directions. As far as the armorer goes, I actually think the armorer is a good representation of some things that within season 3 that I think affected season 3, because I think the fan speculation over the armorer and what people had made up their minds without watching the story about the armorer is a reflection on what happened with Mandalorian season 3. I think so many people had certain ideas in their mind and they just made up their mind that was going to happen. And I think what they did with the armorer in this season is actually very intriguing, because in a way, she kind of became the Obi-Wan of Mandalore. She was directing Bo-Katan. She had finished guiding the Mandalorian. She was using her direction to educate Bo-Katan and what she saw in Bo-Katan, because if you remember in the beginning of the series, she really didn't want anything.
She gave us a contrast. I felt, you guys can tell me, Jassem, Jay, if you think that this makes sense, like you word it better. I felt like she finally gave us some contrast across the span of the Star Wars universe from the Jedi, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where instead of a Jedi, you've got a character, right, that's similar to the Jedi, same beliefs, sort of, you know what I'm saying? Whatnot, right? No force powers, you see what I'm saying? But like, the armor's been around for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how old she is or whatever, whatnot, but I mean, obviously, she mentions things in the season where, like, when she talks about what happened to Grogu with Operation 66 or whatever the hell it was, right? Like, if she knew about that and whatnot and everything, the way
she didn't know about it. The way how she's like,
Oh, it's
banging the armor. It's like
it was just a
natural.
flashback. It just came
Yeah,
with
it's
the bang
flashback.
of the armor.
Yeah.
But no, didn't they tried to they tried to establish some kind of connection like that, didn't they, with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think what
even
they
season 1.
Yeah, I think what they tried to do with her this season though is have. I think one of the things that the season actually accomplished a lot with a lot of the different characters was growth of character, and I think the armor even had some growth because it took her growing to recognize Bo-Katan was this person who could bring these different sides of Mandalore culture together. Because she even realized the Mandalorians are their own downfall. They're too split within themselves, and that is why they always fail. And she realized that Bo-Katan was the one to bring them together. And she helped educate her side with the Coven and also talk to Bo-Katan with the more modern Mandalorians to bring them together and kind of trying to meld this new form of Mandalorian culture.
No, she's very unifying, right? Like that's why I never understood. And now this is interesting for me. Jess, I'm sure you can relate. You've experienced this before. You too, Jay. You too, Kyle. Like people come on the show sometimes that I have them on do MCU episode reviews for Disney Plus, series and whatnot, right? Where they don't know anything about Marvel. They've seen like 2 Avengers films, right? You know I do that, Kyle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like why not? It's fun. But like at the same time though, with the Star Wars stuff, right? It never even occurred to me that the armor would be a spy or a double agent. I was like, are you kidding me? The armor?
Yeah.
The hell no. Like why would the armor fuck with like the Empire? Like
no.
Not. Like
Jeff, the truth of the matter is the armor was a scroll.
Okay, that makes more sense. Right, but you wouldn't know anyway because she always has her fucking armor on. So even if she was a scroll, what difference would it make? Right, but either way, at least you could know what gender the armor is, right? And of course, I heard there were the rumors. Of course, I don't know if you guys heard that like their armor was gonna bang Bo-Katan, right? At one point. Like that she was sweet on her, but
wait,
yeah,
what
which
was
episode
that?
you watch?
Yeah,
And
were you watching that other edition of the Mandalorian we didn't know about?
Maybe there was some of my own internal thoughts as I was watching some of the episodes, and whatnot, right? I don't know, like, but some repressed stuff, or whatever that I wanted to see, but it's okay. I'll save it for the OnlyFans. But anyways, but no, I'll find some mattresses to play that out. But right, we'll have our own arbor. But but she'll be like a dom, like a dominatrix.
You're taking that hammer to a totally different meaning, sir.
no, Jassem, seriously. For me, my big thing was Bo. Right, I thought like Bo there for a minute. I thought like I think the armorer's growth was awesome, and she's a great character. For me, she's if I was going to give out the Mock Rambeau Award. Right, which is the award I give for all Disney Plus series that come out, Marvel ones, for the best secondary character that breaks out, right, in the show and kind of either overshadows the main character or whatever, or just like kills it in their spot. I gave it, obviously off Monica Rambeau, Théon de Paris and whatnot from the Mandovision series, one of which is my favorite Disney Plus Marvel series ever. My favorite, the best one. I think they'll never make a better one. I don't think. Or a better they'll have a better year than the year that came out with Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki and all that. Great, but either way, I'd give her the Mock Rambeau Award. I would, because I feel like she stood out and like really like was very like she did she laid a lot of groundwork and was very pivotal in her scenes, and she got a lot out of they got a lot out of her in her scenes, right? Even though she wasn't in every episode. My only problem with her is her leadership with the whole living on that fucking planet in the cave, that lake and shit with those fucking monsters, right? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, yo, how many of those fucking gators and monsters and shit and whatnot, and that fucking flying bird thing? How many of those fucking things need to come out like every other day, right? For you to like realize maybe it's not a good idea to have training right in front of the water.
Right.
Do you feel me? Like that was not.
She needs a better real estate agent, is what you're saying.
I mean, what are they trying to prove there? Like, I mean, is that some?
They're hiding. That's the main thing, Jeff.
Is that part of the Mandalorian thing? Like, they're just so stubborn that they're like, "Fuck it!" Like, we know there's crazy.
Jeff, come on! It was just training to return to live on Mandalore when we saw all the different creatures that are living on Mandalore these days.
Oh my god, that's so funny. What about like this one?
Holy shit! Let's just making McNuggets in my
I
hand.
need
I
you
don't
to
want
calm
to hear
down.
it.
It's 10:30 a.m. We don't serve chicken McNuggets at this time.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Why not?
Because we do.
You know what? Did you just hiss at me? I'm the one who just fucking hissed at you.
Hey, you just get your ass out of the car. What's going on over there?
Don't you fucking run away from me, you bad move.
Man. God, oh shit.
Don't make me assume my ultimate form. I will fuck you up. Just wait. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna wreck you. Get the fuck back. Get the fuck. I'm gonna try to swallow you like a dumbass.
Ma'am. Whoa. Stop, ma'am. What? Close that shit. Man, God damn. Oh my God. What the fuck is this bitch on?
That, of course, is one of the fucking alien, the creatures in the minds of Mandalore. It's also Jassem's ex-girlfriend.
What are you doing?
I'm
Hey,
sorry,
you should see Olmec's next comment.
What's that?
You should see Olmec's comment.
Oh, hold on, I will. I'm sorry about that. Next, Jeff will say the armor will turn the king into a strip club. Olmec, you know what? Look, I don't know who you are, everything whatnot. But look, I mean, we appreciate you in the comment section, and you seem like really good people. If you want to come on the panel sometime, just make sure that you're at least half drunk when you come on. Right? Can you imagine if Chloe Zhao actually directed an episode of The Mandalorian? like what would Chloe do with the armor? How would the armor have been like her? What would she have been like with Chloe's direction? Right? You know, it could have been interesting, right? You never know. But either way, let's bottom line. No, so like you tell me, going around, Jassem, if you were to throw out a Monica Rambeau award, right, for the series, who would you throw it to?
I would say,
and I would say Bo-Katan will be inqualifiable because she really she would be
Bo-Katan. I would say Grogu. The reason why is that in this season, I noticed that Grogu acted more as a kid this season than like all the previous 2 seasons.
He evolved. He did.
Yeah, it's like, Grogu went through like a lot of change growing up. And I think it's only season 3 where like he truly feels comfortable being a kid. It's like the other seasons, like he tries to be a kid, but he's also like very cautious too. Like he leans more on the, do less action than more action. Avoid hugging the Anzellans than hugging the Anzellans.
Maybe he just maybe in the season 4 maybe he'll actually ride in like on the Star Wars version of the Blue Bus.
Oh my, yeah.
Anyways,
wait, what's the Blue Bus?
Oh, we'll save that for another time, then, brother. That's a little bit. The Blue Bus is the bus for the slowly learned. Anyways, but Mr. Den Leach, who would you give your Monica Rambeau award? And you could pick the Guardian if you want, just to be like me. But I think Bo's qualifiable. I do. I think that. I definitely think that. I mean, Grogu. Who else would definitely be in there?
I would say, and I'm probably going to murder his name, but Paz Vizsla.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, Vizz Vizsla.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I did murder his name, but yeah, man, he
God,
went out like a warrior, and it was his idea to get the tribe to help out Din Djarin on his mission, and because Din Djarin saved his son and all, I thought he was a warrior, and quite honestly, in season 1. He was the one that dropped out of the sky and like just started kicking ass with all the bounty hunters that were after Din Djarin, because somebody put a bounty on his head. So yeah, I think that's my Rambo award right there.
Okay, Kyle.
I'm going to go a different direction with this because I'm going to focus on the person who I thought was the most intriguing villain, and that is Elia Kane.
Ah, good call.
Okay.
Good call. I like that. Good
All right.
call.
Everything they did with her in that one episode was so intriguing, and you just knew, and you were wondering how it was going to play out with her. And I think she was very interesting. I thought she was way more interesting than what Moff Gideon was doing, to be honest, in this season. And I was just really, her character was well performed, and I think she gets the Monica Rambo Award for me for this season. I think they're the most interesting villain on the board, in my opinion.
Kyle, I am surprised that she hasn't been caught yet by the New Republic.
I think that she's gonna pop up in some other stuff before it's all said and done.
Yeah, I think she's going to either be, I think she's going to end up being Thrawn's like right hand man, for lack of a better term.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on. Well, now let me just ask you a question here, Jay. I don't mind to cut you off, Jassem. I'll go right to you. But Jay, now, if I understand correctly, if I don't completely understand where Thrawn exists, this reality he's on, he's not on a different planet. He's like another reality, isn't he?
Not another reality. He's just in the unknown regions right now, which is like where.
Is it almost like a limbo here? Like a limbo? I'm trying.
Just like an unexplored area of the universe, the Star Wars universe.
Okay. See, I always try to use a lens like an MCU lens. Kyle just knows what I'm talking about. That's what I always use as my baseline.
Yeah.
So I always go to one of their tropes whenever I'm trying to like figure this stuff out.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know if he was maybe like trapped in the soul crystal or some shit or whatever. Or
No. It's just at the end of Rebels, the space whales, space whales started encompassing his ship, and Ezra grabbed Thrawn, kind of like, hey, if we're gonna die together.
Yeah.
And then the space whales took off and went to.
And that was one of the best Easter eggs in this season. And that was one of the best Easter eggs of this season of Mandalorian. When you see them go into hyperspace and you see Grogu look out the little globe there, and he sees those whales.
Yeah,
he does. Yeah, that's episode 1 right off the bat. Yeah, they you know what? I tried to do a thumbnail with that, but I could not. And if I
it
could
was
ever,
so quick. It was
no.
So
you know
quick.
what? If I could, when I bought the Adobe Photoshop for Dummies book, or whatever, whatnot. When I finally figure out how to use Adobe Photoshop the right way, I probably could pull it off, but it was so quick, I could not screenshot it quick enough and whatnot to get a solid enough image of the whales that was transparent enough for a thumbnail. It just wouldn't work. Like in their full form, where they looked like a whale. It's very rare. It's fleeting. And that's deep, folks. Like honestly, for me as like a naive Star Wars fan, I don't even really understand the concept of like what they even are, really, to tell you the truth. Like they're like as entities, and I'm not trying to go there.
Once you watch Rebels, you'll understand more too.
Yeah.
Oh,
I guess I'm not a true Mandalorian.
No. For now, we're calling him Don. Don. It's better than Din. Don Leach. I love it. You sound like if there was going to be a third Super Mario Brothers, it would be Don Leach. Right? There you go.
Nice.
Leach, you could be in the fucking the next Super Mario Brothers movie.
Let's do it.
Right? You could bang Princess.
Yeah.
I just be wanting to cut to the box office.
I'm telling you, man.
Okay, Jeff, going back to the unknown regions. So for background, Thrawn is from the unknown regions. So if we're gonna know how Thrawn's able to like come back,
he has a whole planet where he's from it, not everything and all that.
The Chiss ascendancy, they're in the unknown regions.
Yeah.
So it is just another sector that's unexplored in the universe.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, so there's nothing magical about it or like that, whatnot.
No.
It's just
they're just stuck there.
He does.
So they're just stuck there. That's why they need to be rescued or some shit.
I mean, Thrawn has his people there. His people are like advanced, so that's probably how he's able to get back.
Oh, he's on some Kang shit. I got you.
Yeah.
All right,
Like,
so
he actually left his homeworld just to join the Empire.
no, I know he did. No, basically what? He's like a military strategist.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he's actually like more he's not as evil as some of the Sith type motherfuckers. He's more logical villain.
Yes.
Right? Like, you know, I don't have the depth. I haven't read the novels yet. But Leach was kind enough and whatnot. Don was kind enough to point me in the right direction. So I'm working on it. You know, I'll tell you honestly, Don, you and Khan, honestly, you guys should have sleepovers, and then you could rent out the other rooms as a massage parlor.
Jeff, I'm already at his house. Can't you see?
Just wait. I'm gonna make a meme with you two or whatever for like an intro with your shit. You'll see. But no. So basically, for me, I felt like getting into episode 7 and 8, right, and just kind of flushing this out quickly and just going around. Jassem, episode 7 was a great episode. I thought it was outstanding. They packed a lot into it, right? Shadow Council really fucked me up. It really did. That's why I used it for the thumbnail, right? I think it was very important. I loved the visual aspect of it. I love the red and black colors. I do. I love them. I always have loved red and black. I always loved anything Spider-Man related that was red and black or like a dark blue and red. Like I like that contrast. I like the contrast of the energies, like, you know, of the red, right, with the Sith and with the Empire and whatnot, right? Like from, you know, the green or the blues, right, with like the Force and the Jedi. What did you think? I mean, episode 7, the finale. I know at least with Jay, I know that me and Jay agree that finale was a drop off for episode 7. It was.
Yeah.
You know, would you agree with that?
Yes, completely.
Kyle, would you also agree? Just so if we know if we're on the same page here.
Yeah, I think episode 7 really was the penultimate episode and the best episode of the season. 8 had a little bit of drop off, and I think why 8 had a little bit of a drop off is it was trying to cover too much in a short span.
Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, but still though, I mean, and look, I don't think the finale was terrible, right? But I'll go ahead. Leach, you've got to dip at 9:30. So let me just go ahead and I'll go ahead and ask you right now. I'll start with you, and then I'll go to you, Jess, and then you, Kyle. Give me your ratings for the finale and for episode 7.
Okay, I think I agree. Episode 7 was superior to episode 8. Not that I didn't like episode 8. I just I thought they kind of blew their load on 7, but there wasn't anything to get me excited for the next season. If you look at the final episodes of season 1 and season 2, they ended on like some oh shit moments. I can't wait until the next season comes out. But they ended this one almost like they could have closed the book on it and just been done with the Mandalorian and just on the other side projects. Because there you see is at the end he's looking like he's kind of retired on Navarro. He's got a new home. Really doesn't have to go out and do all this bounty hunting and stuff, but you know that he's going to do something. But maybe it was just the end of the, hey, let's get Mandalore back together and rebuild. You know, maybe it was the end of his piece in that storyline, maybe. But I was really waiting on something like a surprise, like Thrawn showing up, or even Sabine Wren showing up, and I didn't get any of that. It's okay, but you know, when in the first 2 seasons, when you set that up, like to give you that oh shit moment, and then you don't get one in the third one, it was a little bit of a letdown. And I stood through the credits just hoping that Thrawn was going to show up, and nothing happened. You know,
just something to set up, give us a teaser of Ahsoka, basically.
Yeah, exactly. You know, but yeah, it's that's my vibe on that. It wasn't bad. I just you know, maybe I set my expectations too high when it comes to Star Wars. I don't know, you know, but I'm just a geek like that.
I see, and that throws me off a little bit, Jay. It does. It's like it did earlier when you told me that. Just because, like, and me and Jay were talking personally about and I was contrasting Marvel and the MCU and kind of some of the, obviously we all, other than Jassem, we're all pretty heavy MCU fans. I mean, obviously Kyle and I cover Marvel. Jay, you cover Marvel too, don't you? With Danny?
Yeah, very little. I mean, we did a Spider-Man one and a couple things, but
that's right. But you're going to try to come on and do some Secret Invasion episodes with us and whatnot,
yeah,
and everything,
absolutely.
right? So
yeah,
cannot wait for Secret Invasion.
I think everybody, listen, everybody that's coming on, everybody that I've already got signed up for the panels and whatnot is all like totally fucking like gassed to review those episodes. They really are, which is great to hear. It's nice to see the enthusiasm. But no, so Jay, will you tell me? I think if I remember correctly, when I reviewed, I think I can't remember if you were on that review or not. But I think I gave episode 7 a 10. I did. I can't remember what I gave the finale. What do you, if you're looking back in retrospect, right? Not what would you give 7 and 8?
All right, 7 I would give at least a 9, maybe even 9.5. And I would give 8 and 3/4 for the finale.
Okay, that's pretty close. That's
like
pretty
I said,
close.
I didn't hate it.
No, I didn't either.
The one that was superior.
No, it was. It was.
Can I throw out a thought on the finale?
Yeah,
I have it was the same feeling I had with the finale of Star Trek Picard too, which again, phenomenal season of Picard. I think the Mandalorian had a little bit of a similar problem. There was really truly no sense of peril in the finale. You knew it was gonna. There was like, you never got that moment where it was like, are they gonna pull this off? Or are we gonna end this season on a heavier note? And you never felt that in the finale. And I think that really was something that took away from the finale.
Yeah.
No, and I think that that it's already been mentioned that the even I have to admit that as much as I like season 3, I can totally see where people are coming from, that they really left things in a messy kind of direction where you have no fucking idea what they expect from season 4 at all. Like it's not confidence instilling. So if you already didn't like really enjoy the third season, Jassem, then that finale did not exactly like inspire you. You know what I mean? Or whatnot, right?
It's like, as I've been saying, even throughout this whole live stream, like, just seeing Mando just retired at the end, seeing that there's probably not going to be any other enemies to deal with. Moff Gideon's probably dead. Bo-Katan has Mandalore. No one's threatening Mandalore. It's just like, I just don't think there will be a season 4, all because of that. And sure, people will say that, they have the scripts written, but I mean, they can change their mind. They can be like, maybe this ending is so good or so satisfying that maybe we don't need a season 4. Maybe we can just go directly to the movie. And I think that's where a lot of the season 4 script will be sent. I think that if they do make a season 4, it will probably like just ruin season 3, make it seem useless. That's my take. But
see, now Jassem is a content creator that I've covered economics with before on content at one point years ago. I'm surprised you're not taking into consideration the fact that Disney is not exactly doing so hot, stock wise and whatnot and everything, and and then money wise and whatnot and everything, and Disney Plus has lost a lot of fucking money, right? Did you look at Did you look at how much money they lost quarter by quarter?
You there's another reason for that, and you can't judge. So you can't,
no. But you know where I'm going with this, Kyle. They're going to make a fourth season of The Mandalorian, Jassem. They have to.
But you can't judge the Disney Plus numbers because they're highly inaccurate. I
know they're not. That's why they're getting sued.
Well, the issue being, and it is just a side thing, but I do think it's affecting the future of a lot of things on Disney Plus. Is that, and this is the craziest thing of all. Internationally, Disney in India carried the most popular sport in India exclusively for the first 3 years of Disney Plus, and that is cricket. Disney lost the rights to cricket in India, and they lost half of their worldwide subscribers because they lost the rights to cricket. They lost $4 billion because they lost the rights to cricket in India.
Wow.
So when you talk about the losses at Disney Plus, it's a good. What did I read? I was like a good 60% of that comes from that loss of cricket and the subscribers in India.
Well, if they would just put the MCU's Bleeding Edge up in there, up in on Disney Plus and shit, whatnot, right? Like we get half that back at least.
No. What, Jeff, no. Bob Chapek is no longer in charge. It's Iger again. So that's
I'm just saying we do really well with Indian people. Like they really like they've always like Jassem will tell you, Indian people have always liked my content.
Yeah, they did.
They do. They like Jassem, I talked to a couple of Indian people on the phone recently that still like me on Rizzle and whatnot and everything, and like were complimenting me and like I'm like a hero to them.
That's awesome.
I swear. No shit. Seriously. They like I'm telling you, no joke, Kyle. Like I'm trying to get more into the Indian market. I've been doing research I'm trying to collaborate with people over there.
I think it's interesting when we talk about the future of Disney Plus shows and things like that, how there is a big drop off in the talk of content coming to Disney Plus, because I seriously do believe, and I know the rumors have been out there, that sometime within the next 2 to 5 years, there's going to be an Apple that's going to take over the Disney situation.
What?
Apple will acquire Disney.
Wait. No, hold on. Let's not go down this rabbit hole because this.
It's a big. But I think
let's not break things down from a Thomas Sowell, Adam Smith level here capacity. You know what I'm saying? But no, overall, no. Listen, nothing happened in season 3 and whatnot to where there's a reason to just not make a season 4 of The Mandalorian. Right?
I mean, the ending's just so great. Like, why would you ruin it?
No, but Jassem, Jay, you would agree with me, right? And Kyle. If you want to set up properly this solo film, you need another season of Mando. The Mandalorian series is the backbone of the Mandoverse that started this and led to this film.
Right. I think there will be one more season of Mandalorian. I think they said it. I think the way they ended it this year was to kind of end the Mando's quest of becoming a true Mandalorian, because he never really got that opportunity. And they reestablished Mandalore, they reestablished the Mandalorian culture, and it kind of was like the end of this particular run of books, and they're starting a new series of books. And I think we're going to at least get one more season of the Mandalorian where he is back to more of his bounty hunting kind of ways and working with the New Republic, and that's what's going to pull him into the events of the Dave Filoni film, because I think you'll have that, you'll have Ahsoka, and those will be the two main things that are going to set up the framework for whatever Filoni has got planned to close out this Mandoverse with his film.
No, and Jay, before you dip, Jassem, I'll go to you right to Jay because Jay's got to dip, okay? And I'll let you talk as much as you want. So save your thoughts. Jay, before you dip, I just wanted to ask you really quick. Of course, your thoughts on season 4, whatever you have to say, but then also, would you agree with me or would you agree with Jassem? I mean, do you see his point at all? I feel like, again, you guys know more about this than I do, but I feel like overall, to me, I think does set at the MCU level where they do need more room. They need more space and more vehicles to, meaning more shows, more ways to introduce other characters and flush out arcs and whatnot, storylines before they can set up Thrawn for this solo film.
Right. I would agree to that. I have a feeling that things that are going to happen between Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew are going to set up the Mandalorian season 4. Because at this point, it's because they have this Endgame type movie coming in 26, I believe it is. So he's going to be a part of it, or Mando and Grogu are going to be a part.
Oh
of it.
Yeah.
So I would think that maybe this ending that I wasn't too satisfied with should be that way, so that moving forward, they're focusing on getting to that end game type movie. So it would encompass things that are happening in Ahsoka, and hopefully, a Book of Boba Fett season 2 maybe, and Skeleton Crew. I think stuff is gonna build and just take this storyline in another direction.
Can you imagine if they put me in Boba Fett season 2 as a Tuscan translator?
Right?
I'd be better than Jack Black.
Oh, 100.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, for real. No, I'd bring 100 to that shit. I'd be like, yo, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm a Tuscan translator, baby. Phoenix University, I'm going to Phoenix University. I'm getting after with the Sand People. What's up?
Right.
Right? I'd be like the Jar Jar Binks of Boba Fett season 2, except like with a higher IQ.
Right.
There you go.
Got you.
So hey, what do you think? I'm sorry, but like again, especially with your experience, I thought, and again, I am biased. I love Katie Sackhoff. I thought Bo-Katan fucking killed it in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking killed it, dude. Like I didn't even play it. I have the fucking fight scene with her and fucking Gideon, Moff Gideon, right here. But like where they go after it, whatnot. And I'll play it before you go out, Jace. You can watch it if you want.
Okay.
But they have to bring her back in something, right? Like they have to put her in something. She can't just be done.
Yeah, no, I don't think she will be.
She'd be in the film too, right?
Yeah. And I think the rebuilding in Mandalore is just going to be a small piece of the story moving forward. But she's not done. She can't be.
No, and not only that, but also I think we are all somewhat aware to some extent. Maybe even Jess, I think you may not know, or maybe you do, but she's a diehard Star Wars fan, and she's very, very humbled and appreciative to have the ability to play the role.
Yeah.
Right? Like she's thankful.
Yeah. She
right?
started off as a voice actress, and now she is a literal.
She's not some asshole. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like you can tell if you watch her reviews and whatnot and everything, right? Like she really cares about Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's
what I like about Rosario Dawson too.
Oh, me too.
Like she's a huge Star Wars fan.
Hey, listen, I'm not playing around over here, man. I watched an hour and 20-minute long interview with her. And I think I told Kyle the other day, I said it was her on the panel at one of the Star Wars events. And then it was the Mary something Winstead or whatever one, not the
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yeah, and then it was the other actress that's going to play that played the voice for
Ashley Eckstein.
Yes. I watched their hour and 20-minute long interview and whatnot, and everything and all that. And it was great. I love Rosario Dawson.
Is she gonna? Is Ashley gonna get a spot in the Ahsoka series?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if she made a cameo or something like that, but Ashley has really been good about supporting Rosario Dawson, and it's been a really good transition from that. And Rosario has been incredibly respectful to Ashley. It's one of the, I know a lot of fans were like when they screamed that Ashley should play Ahsoka in live action. What they don't realize is that this is an older Ahsoka, and I think Rosario Dawson was brilliant casting for the role, and I think it's worked out very well. And she's used Ashley Eckstein as a resource and just shown her the utmost respect throughout the entire process.
Yeah,
most definitely. No, it's Rosario Dawson is I see her the same way as Sackhoff, as being someone that's very thankful, right? I watched her in her interview where she talked about how Filoni didn't tell her that she was going to be like working with Luke Skywalker, right?
Oh yeah,
on set that day and whatnot, everything, and how fucked up she was by it and everything and whatnot.
Yeah,
right. Like that's got to be a trip. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, big time.
No, seriously. But listen, Jay, it was good to see you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Well, I'll have you back, right? We'll so we can have this conversation about previewing Ahsoka. Right?
Yeah.
Skulls and Crew and all that, whatnot, right? Do you have any shout outs or anything you want to shout out anything or anything whatnot before you leave, before I play this fight scene between Moff and
DJB Productions. We haven't done anything in like a month, but from what I understand, we're getting back in the saddle and doing there's got to be 8 different shows that we do over there. I'm probably part of it, about 3 of them. But it's a whole cool little network, and we're just chipping away.
Most definitely. You know what? And I'll make sure that the links are in the description and whatnot, and everything and whatnot.
Cool.
And I love everybody over at DJB Productions Network. I haven't been over there in a while and whatnot and everything, but I've been a guest over there a couple times.
Yeah.
And I know you guys. What you guys are doing? Going to be making some content soon, because Danny already. I told you he hit me up recently and asked me about doing some shows. So
sure. Yeah.
Right. So hopefully I'll be recording with you over there too.
Awesome.
All right, brother. Hey, listen, it's good to have you, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll see you guys. Take care.
All right, see you.
Thanks.
The action guy who left the fridge open.
You people. Huh. What do you mean, you people?
I love Chopping Thunder, baby. All right, where's that fight scene? There it is.
Hand over the dark saber. The dark saber is gone. You've lost everything. Mandalorians are weak once they lose their trinkets.
Mandalorians are stronger together.
Hell yeah, man. You tell me, Jassem. Yo, Moff looked fucking dope with that Mandalorian armor, man.
Yeah. I don't know how he got it. That's like one of the things I'm curious about.
Because they were already set up on Mandalore before when there still was Beskar, right, Kyle?
Yeah, they were. This is the thing with Gideon. He's been so, but it was kind of a weird turn with Gideon in the final 2 episodes too. Was all of a sudden how he's obsessed with creating the perfect, taking all these perfect things from different cultures and combining them together. When really they kind of established early on he was really just so fascinated by the Mandalorian culture, and then that kind of switch where now it's everything Jedi. It's all this, taking all these aspects and putting them together like the ultimate super soldier. I'm just wondering, was his armor, did he outsource that to Stark Industries?
Like, how did he like craft it with the Beskar when he doesn't have like someone as skillful as the armor?
I'm sure he does.
Well, hold on a minute. Yeah, I was gonna say no. I mean, look, like for one thing, he probably had that armor forged a long time ago, right, Kyle? This is not. This is
something he's been working on for a good while.
Yeah, this is back when the Empire was running the show, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that he had that armor made. You know what I mean? Well, not like he's had that shit in the closet. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, I'm just saying, if anything, if I remember correctly, I mean, they were the ones that basically turned the one moon, right? Where Dinjarin was born, or where he grew up. They basically were the ones that turned it into a fucking mining planet or whatnot, and like basically sucked all the Beskar off of it, didn't they, Kyle?
Yeah, and that was the thing. I mean, and that's what Gideon's done. I mean, he's the one who put a secret base on Mandalore, so he was accessing all these things.
No, I mean, honestly, even I knew it. Like, even I knew from studying the lore already by the finale that, like, I was not surprised that the Empire already had infrastructure right there.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's not a shock at all.
No, honestly, Jassem. That's how hard I've been deep diving, baby. Right? Even I knew that Moff and the Empire and shit had satellite installments and whatnot on those kind of planets.
Yeah.
Whenever they would conquer a planet or whatever and whatnot, or they would just like, bomb somebody or whatever and whatnot, they would always set shop up in them bitches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I wanted to ask you guys one last question. Kyle, Jassem, I see a lot of contrast in this season with certain tropes like Dune. And like also Halo, right? The Night of a Thousand Tears, right? Or whatever, whatnot. The night where Moff and the Empire bombed Mandalore, right?
Mm-hmm.
They basically glassed it. It's very equivalent if you look at it. When you go to season 2 and they show those images of Grogu and Mando flying down to the ship, the planet, the surface, it looks similar to the glassing, right, that the Covenant does in Halo.
Yeah, except that really the Night of 1,000 Tears was established well before Halo ever came around.
No, but do you get what I'm saying with the contrast, though?
Yeah,
it's similar.
I think it. We are to a point where you're going to pull similar sci-fi things and maybe not even realize it. And I think in this case too, you're dealing with people who have been influenced by things like Halo and other things too. So there's some subconscious things about the look.
No, I'm not seeing. I don't see it as like a bad thing. I see it as just an interesting connection. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with borrowing tropes like that. Why not? As long as you do it your own way, right? But no, but you get where I'm going with Dune though too. Like, I see some Dune stuff going on there too. I did see things in there that were reminiscent to me with Dune.
Yeah, a little bit with the planet being a wasteland now, and along those lines.
Yep, most definitely, right? You know, some of the borrowed. What were those when Paz died? What were those? Were those called Centaurians?
I know they were in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, they were the Crimson Warriors that were the start of the Crimson War. Kind of the next evolution in the Crimson Guard.
But they're based off Roman culture. They are
a little bit. I mean,
they're Praetorian Guards.
Praetorian Guards.
Guards.
That's by definition. That comes from Roman culture. It does. They had the Praetorian Guards too, I believe. So there you go. No, that's just why I came up with the connection. But look, Kyle, I can tell you're tired, buddy. I know you got to go to work in the morning.
Yep.
Jassem, you've got to play piano. You got piano lessons later with Chloe Zhao. Right. So good luck with that. But listen, guys, premonition for season 4. Okay, Jassem, whether you believe it or not, it's going to come out. Will it be better than season 3? Jassem, then you, Kyle.
I'm gonna lean towards no, mainly because with season 3, it was like a lot worse than season 1 and 2. I mean, I'm semi pessimistic, mainly because, I mean, the people writing the Mandalorian, maybe season 3 was just only a minor f up.
Favreau, you're talking about Favreau. Favreau wrote the Mandalorian.
Season 3.
Yeah, didn't he?
Did. He was the primary writer on season 3.
Okay, and is he the same for season 2 and 1?
Well, for him and Filoni were a little bit more co-creative on season 1 and 2, but because Filoni was Ahsoka is entirely written by Filoni, that he was working on Ahsoka while Favreau was writing season 3 of The Mandalorian.
That's right. And you know what, folks? I apologize. Next time we cover something like this, I'll make sure that I list and whatnot. There were a lot of different directors that came in, right? Besides, what's her name, right?
Bryce Dallas Howard come in.
Yeah, that they came in and did direct individual episodes, right? And did a great job. Yeah, and deserve accolades and deserve to be mentioned, right? And you know what I'm talking about, Kyle. They've done that throughout the seasons, haven't they?
Oh yeah, they have. And one of the big things that was a change for this season 2, and I know I'm going to butcher the name. Rick. Oh, I can't. It starts with an F, but he's directed multiple episodes of The Mandalorian too, and he was actually brought up as a producer for season 3 of The Mandalorian too, because with Filoni working on Ahsoka, so there was a little bit of change in that as well.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Favreau learns his lessons with season 3, because I mean, compared to seasons 1 and 2, season 3 is like a failure. I mean, if he doesn't learn his lessons, I guess season 4 is going to be a lot worse, but we'll have to see.
Well, excuse me for Rick. The person I'm talking about, Rick Famuyiwa, he directed episode 1 and the final 2 episodes. You also had Rachel Morrison, who directed episode 2. Lee Isaac Chung, who directed episode 3. You had Carl Weathers, who directed episode 4.
That's right. Carl Weathers directed one episode.
Peter Ramsey directed episode 5. Bryce Dallas Howard episode 6. And then, like I said, Rick Famuyiwa directed the final 2.
And then Jar Jar did the finale. Yep.
Jar Jar.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Young ones, to the gauge! Get back! Get back!
Fuck yeah, baby. Yo,
Come on, Jeff. That's just a typical Thursday night with dealing with a Florida Gator.
Yo, they have that every other day that they have that one of those fucking gator monsters pops up on that beach. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, dude. Good luck for the Arbor trying to sell that real estate, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, seriously, who the fuck's gonna insure that shit? I wouldn't. You got look at the fuck. Who's gonna come out of that fucking pot? That lake? That's Godzilla. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck, bro? I'm telling you, dude. Jar Jar would be able to find a better spot to like chill. If he was leading the Mandalorian instead of fucking her. That shit's crazy, bro. Yo, Jassem, tell me that shit that dinosaur gator monster was not fucking crazy looking.
Very crazy. He's on steroids, man.
Yo, Kyle, when I saw that shit happen in episode 1, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Are you kidding me? Seriously? Dude.
Yeah, I just like I said, they need a little better travel agent.
Hey, those digital effects right there cost almost as much as Brie Larson got paid for Captain Marvel.
Let's really judge the Mandalorians here for a second, because they go to that planet, then they go back to the Grief Karga's planet. He was ready to set him up with this nice piece of land. Everything's all set up. Oh no, we're going to go back to creature-infested Mandalore. That's a wasteland. Apparently, they're not exactly the best judge of real estate.
No, they're bargain hunters, Kyle.
I think they like to suffer. You know, it's like the Armorer said, like when she told Bo, right? When she when she was under the smolder, she was like, the life of a Mandalorian is hard, right? Like you're born fighting. You know what I'm saying? Well, not right, and then throughout your life, all you experience is pain, right, and like loss. You know what I'm saying? Like essentially saying that like the life of the Mandalorian is one of, it's pretty stark, right? There's not a lot of positivity in it. You know, well, hey, at that point, why not? You might as well live fucking right next to that. You might as well have your induction ceremonies into the way with young children and shit that you steal and shit and whatnot and brainwash and put them right next to the pond. It's got fucking gator monsters and shit that pop up every other day. When the wing monster came and stole fucking, what's his name, Paz's kid, right? Paz was like, let's just take it, follow it to its nest, right? We never catch it. That bitch had been back 7 times. He already been there 7 times. I'm telling you. The Armor, you're starting to, that Mockery of Bull War is starting to slip on you, motherfucker. Anyways, folks, for Jassem, for Kyle, for Kevin, the co-host of True Believers Marvel Cinematic Universe podcast, right? For Jassem, the Wrath of Khan, the real Wrath of Khan over here, right? Who is a good friend of mine and a good friend of the Bleeding Edge, and I hope I'll see you soon. Right? And for Jar Jar, right? And for Grogu, right? Our buddy, our hero. We'll see you next time. Take care.
やめろやめろどうだな助けに来た男に殺される気分は鉄十字団に恨みを持つ麻薬刑事さんスパイダーストリング格闘技世界チャンピオンスパイダーマン
That's right, nice. Folks. That right there is without question a better directed and acted movie than Captain Marvel ever was.